Hey, great Friday. Good evening to everyone. You know what? This is your girl, your hostess, Majik Renee, Empire 45 Magazine, my first time here in my abode studio with my beautiful guest, Renee Jones, the broker of the Carolinas. And we are so honored to have her here. Empire 45 Magazine, sponsoring the Purple Podcast. We are doing it live right here in living color. I am your girl, Majik Renee. Let's give Renee Jones a hand. Yay!
I'm happy to be here.
She made it. You know, it's been a little while since I've had guests, and I've had guests in another type of atmosphere. However, you know, it's the first for everybody sometimes. And I just want to welcome her here in my abode studios. And I have always had a passion for selling houses. I was a salesperson, sold everything but a house. However, you know, she is here to tell us how her journey got started. And I just want to welcome everyone to the Friday's edition of Empire 45 Magazine, the Purple Podcast. So, Renee, I have some questions I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
I just want to say welcome again to the Empire 45 Magazine
Thank you for having me.
show, Purple Podcast. And, you know, I remember when we met.
Yeah.
We met. I'm going to guess a little bit and say maybe about a year ago, last
It
summer.
was last summer.
Okay,
It was last
I'm
summer.
great so far.
Yes.
All right, we met at the Lewis Recreation Center
You got it.
here in Greensboro.
Mhm.
I think it was like an entrepreneur, like expo or something like
You
that.
got good memory.
Okay,
That's
a little
right.
bit, a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit.
right.
And I saw her beautiful face.
Aw.
And then when I said, wait a minute, real estate, you know, real estate is like ching ching, bling bling. I'm going to have me a nice house. And I know it's a very, very hard job
It's
to
a
do.
very hard job. Very hard job.
However, you know, we've got a lot of beautiful people that know exactly what they're doing. They have a passion for it, and it's just in their field to want to be able to sell more than just a house. You can sell a home, and Renee is here to tell us all about it. I heard that you've been in this business for a little while, since like 2008. I remember you saying somewhere around that.
Initially, that's where my journey started, was 2008.
Okay.
And I would say I probably lacked a little confidence, maybe way back then.
Yeah.
To really do anything with it, and have had regret all along.
Oh.
Yeah, and then about 3 years ago, I decided it's time.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
needed in the community. I have a passion for homes, decor, design. That's kind of where my love starts.
Okay.
But I also have a passion for people.
Mhm.
So homes, design,
Yes,
decor,
yes,
people,
yes,
to me that
yes.
equates to real estate.
Yes.
And I love it. It is a very tough job, but it is a very rewarding job.
I bet it
And
is.
you do have to have a heart for people and
Oh,
doing
yes.
what's right for people to really make an impact in this industry.
That's great. Sounds
Yeah.
good. You know, I at one time you were a project manager.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so right out of college, I actually graduated from UNCG right here in
Okay,
Greensboro.
okay.
With
Spartans. Is that
Spartans,
right?
yes,
All
the
right.
Spartan spirit.
Yes.
Yes, so I graduated in 94,
Oh,
and
okay.
I think I was just more interested in finding work than really like exploring what my options were. I was just really concerned about getting a check
Mhm.
and taking care of what I needed to take care of. So I just hopped into a customer service role. Fast forward 30 years later, I've kind of grown with this company and landed in a project management role in telecom and programming phone systems.
Oh,
Never
yeah.
thought I would do that. And then in addition to programming phone systems, training users, but also
Wow.
training administrators at these companies to learn how to manage their phone system and make changes and things of that nature.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been great. I've traveled a lot with this company, mainly in the hospitality industry along the
Okay.
East Coast, and it's been great.
Yes.
But last year that came to an end, 3 weeks shy of 30 years. Mind you, I was dual career trying to do real estate along with my
Oh.
full time. And towards the end of last year, I'm real estate 100%.
All right.
So
So you were making that goal to get to the main one.
yeah, it's been in my heart all along. I know 100% without a shadow of a doubt, this is what I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
doing with my life. The only regret I have is I wish I would have started this much sooner, but everything
Yes.
in God's timing. So
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. And a lot of us feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, as we get older, that's when we realize I could have been doing this.
absolutely.
You know,
It's that hindsight that kicks
yeah,
in.
and at times, you know, we're already doing our passion. We just don't know that
Yeah.
we're doing it.
You're right.
You know, so
You're
yeah,
right.
that's good. That's good. And I know that you love homes. What about commercial properties?
So I can actually do residential and commercial. I'm licensed to do both,
Okay.
but commercial's not on my radar.
Oh, okay.
I'm just residential, dealing with homeowners, first-time home buyers. They're my passion.
Yes.
Because I love the education piece of it. I did a lot of that in my previous career, so I love that. I don't know. Commercial's just not on my radar, but who knows? 2 years, 5 years from now, I may pivot.
Yeah.
I have
yeah.
that flexibility,
So
which is great.
Consulting a couple or even single family,
Mm-hmm.
consulting, a family. How does that, play? Do you mind, And I know that you're just itching for somebody to say, "Oh, you know what? My kids and I, we love this and that and the other." Tell us about that.
So when you say my kids and I, so if someone just approaches me and says,
Yes, I want this and that and the other for my kids, or for my family, my husband or whatever. This is the dream house that I'm looking for.
and that's great because I want everyone to have what they want, right? But the conversation needs to skirt all the way back, and we really need to talk about affordability
Okay.
and budgeting. Because just because you're pre-approved, that's the main step. So I'll talk about the process, like a brief overview, kind of what that looks like.
Okay.
But before we can navigate, go see homes, start dreaming, we need to know what we can afford.
Right.
Because the worst thing that I could do as a realtor is start taking clients out to see properties and not knowing what they can afford, right? You take someone, they see a
Absolutely.
home, they fall in love, and then we go back to speaking with a lender, finding out what they can qualify for. And if they can't afford the home that they've now fallen in love with, how have I helped
And
them?
that's one of the challenges that we have to deal with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I personally will never take anyone out to see a home unless I know that they can afford that home. I'm not in the business of setting people up, breaking hearts. Let's go back. Let's figure out what you can afford, and let's find a home that will make you happy within that price range. And another thing is, just because you're pre-approved for a certain amount doesn't mean that you have to max out and spend that entire amount. It's really all about your budget and where you want your payments to land. We figure out what that budget is. We have a conversation with your lender to find out what that price point is, and then we're searching within that price point.
Okay.
Now, does that change sometimes? Yeah, it just depends on the price point. Sometimes a buyer or a client will say, well, this is kind of not what I was hoping for in that price point. So then has your perspective changed? Do you want to increase your budget? And if so, we can do that, but I want to make sure you're comfortable. So it really starts with what you can afford and having those honest conversations up front.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like having a realtor that's working with a family like you are, it's almost like, you're their attorney. I need to know
Everything.
everything about you.
Yeah.
Every single penny that you bring in here.
Well,
You know,
to a
just
certain
about.
degree, right. So the lender, we partner up with the lenders. Your lender is who gets your financials. They find out how much you earn, what your debt to income ratios are, what your credit score is. And I think a lot of consumers are kind of taken aback and they're really nervous to talk to a realtor initially because they think, oh, I don't want you to know all my business. I don't gather that information. The lender gathers all of your personal financial information. That does not come to your realtor. What we do find out is what you're pre-approved to spend, and we help you stay within that budget. So that's really important. And I think sometimes I do feel the pushback from people because depending on their situation, they may not be comfortable sharing certain things. And I have to very quickly say, you don't have to share. As a matter of fact, I don't want to know what you earn. I don't want to know what your credit score is. I don't need to know that. Your lender needs to know that because that is who is going to mortgage it, not me.
Okay. And the training, when you do the training, you're doing the training with each client that comes along your way and say, hey, I need you to do this training so you can know every single thing about the house, whatever, every single thing that your money is investing in and everything.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So part of the education piece of it is not only understanding what you can afford or how much you want to afford, there's also other costs that go into buying a home. So I talk about all of that, down payment,
Insurance.
closing costs, inspection
Wow,
costs,
yes.
due diligence and earnest money, which, that's a whole other conversation in and of itself, which is part of the offer that you're submitting to the seller. So there is money that the buyers need to have saved for certain things. Like home inspections are huge, right?
Absolutely.
You want to understand the condition of that home before you continue in a contract to buy that home. So, inspections could range anywhere from $400 to $600, just depending on the size of the home, the age of the home. All of that factors into it. So in addition to the home inspection, there are termite and wood destroying insect inspections that I recommend. Radon gas, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's a gas that's naturally occurring in the earth.
Wow.
And it can cause issues with your lungs if it reaches above a certain
Oh,
level.
wow.
So
I had no idea.
yeah, so it's really about educating buyers and making sure they understand what's ahead. And I try to make sure they understand it. Sometimes, depending on the client, I can do an overview from start to finish. And then other clients may go, hey, just step me through it. That's a lot of information. Take me through each step as we reach it. And I work within, whatever my client's comfortable with.
And that's great. How
you.
long have you been doing this?
So I've been licensed for 3 years, dual careered, as I mentioned, but full time for about 7 months now.
Okay. Okay. And just pleasing, not just pleasing the family. What are other benefits that are worth, the goals in this industry that you have?
Just home ownership, being able to grow your wealth, right? The equity that you build in your home over time, which could lead to, and I think that's another thing that we're faced with. Sometimes the budget may not allow for the buyer to get the type of home that they want today. Sometimes buyers may have to adjust their expectations and maybe scale it back a little bit. But knowing that investing in a home is not like investing in a car, your home is going to gain equity over time, and then being able to sell that, take the equity out, and then maybe buy the home of your dreams. So sometimes you may not be able to get what you want exactly today, but it takes a little time, a little patience, and knowing what's ahead. That's something to look forward to. So I would say generational wealth. Being able to leave something to your loved ones when you're no longer here that maybe gets them a better start in life. So I think that's what a lot of people, I hear a lot of buyers say to me. I want to own something for myself now, but also be able to leave it
to my children later.
It's important.
Yeah, grandkids. Yeah, that's typical here in the South. So do you see like certain states? Like the comparison with the South to the North, do you see more people buying here? The rate of the houses are lower here or in certain areas of the United States. Where do you see most of the buying for retirement?
Where those buyers are coming
Yes.
from? Florida, Texas, Georgia, upstate, New York. I'm working with a relocation client right now. That's moving from New York.
Okay.
People are looking for a little bit slower pace of a lifestyle
Absolutely.
where they can get that I'm tucked away feel, but I'm 5 to 10 minutes to the nearest shopping, dining.
Absolutely.
I think people are just looking for a slower pace of life, and a lot of times people associate that with the South. And then, of course, like you said, you can get a lot more house here for the budget.
Right.
Yeah, so it's definitely a draw. So Florida, Georgia, Texas, California, New York, people are relocating from all over. And sometimes it's not just for retirement. It could be for a multitude of reasons, but we've got an influx of people that are moving here because of all of the new industries that are coming to the Triad, right?
Right.
So people are relocating for their jobs.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, we're growing.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
So with the travel, what about you traveling yourself? You know, do you get a chance even, to travel yourself?
For personally, for fun, for vacation, or for work?
I'll say for work for now.
So I hover in the Triad mostly.
Okay.
So Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, of course, surrounding towns, Jamestown, Archdale, Trinity, Thomasville. I've had buyers in Eden and Reedsville. So that's pretty much my area.
You never even thought about going outside of the box and, going to a bigger state, just to see how their houses look, to, be able to catch some of that pie, oh, wow, I'd love to sell a house like this.
Listen, yes, I've seen beautiful homes elsewhere, but I'm only licensed right now for North Carolina.
Okay.
Will that expand at some point? I don't know. I would expand within North Carolina before I probably opted for another state. You sound like my sister there. She's like, get your license in Georgia. And I'm like,
yes.
I'm not going to Georgia. So I'm hovering here in North Carolina for now. But again, I never say never, because I don't know what path God has for me.
Amen.
And I pray that whatever that is, I feel it and I act on it. But right now, I'm good taking care of my community.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Well, as a beautiful Black independent entrepreneur that you are,
You're sweet. Thank you.
what type of changes or challenges have you gone through that was just kind of breathtaking a little bit with Black men?
With Black men?
Because, some of our brothers are like, wow, she's doing this and she's doing that. I mean, I know that you're in a marital state, but before you got married, even, while you're married, do you see any men moving into a nice house that really, well, I'm going to give her the run for her money. I'm going to, test her on this and test her on that. Have you seen any challenges like that?
I personally haven't. Do those exist? Probably yes. But I have not dealt with that directly in this industry. Like I said, I come from a place of education. So when I'm speaking to customers before they become my clients, you really shouldn't challenge. I know what I'm talking about. I study the market. I know what's happening. And either you're going to take my advice and listen and make your life easier, or you're going to do it your way and then circle back to me for the right way.
So what about racism?
Valid question. I can honestly say I've not dealt with any directly. If that takes place behind my back or unbeknownst to me, I don't know about it, and I'm cool with that. I will help anyone who is, because to me it all boils down to respect. You can feel however you want to feel about me, and that's perfectly fine. I just don't think that either you're going to trust me as a professional or you're not. And I'm not in the business of forcing people to work with me who don't want to work with me, because, a lot of times people will think, well, I'm going to interview multiple agents to decide who I'm comfortable with and who I want to work with. As you should, because that is your right. But while you're interviewing me, I'm also interviewing you, because just like you may not want to work with me, there are clients that I may not want to work with either. It goes both ways. But irregardless, if there's someone that I'm like, maybe I'm not the right fit for you, I'm always going to be respectful. And to me, you can feel however you want to feel about me. We need to be respectful of one another. And that's kind of what I lead with. And if I ever encountered any disrespect, I would politely bow out. I'm not the agent for you, and good luck to you finding someone to help you. So I've not dealt with that issue.
Well, and that's great because
Yeah.
some people do. I remember reading a book, and of course we've come a long, long way.
We have.
In a lot of
And there's
different
still a long
fields.
way to go,
Yes,
but
it is.
yeah, you're correct.
And I can remember in this book, we as a color could not tried our best, to afford certain houses and to be in certain neighborhoods for our families, and we would just boot it out, and even now that the high price tags are on these houses now with the high range, I see a lot of not just homelessness. I see a lot of abandoned houses.
Yeah.
And I just want to, and it's a big question. I don't know not a whole lot about the industry like I should, and hopefully I will one day. And you always have this dream like, I wish there was somebody that could come along in the industry of real estate and just would, buy some, properties and house all of these people so they could get off the streets. Have you ever run into anything like that? Has any properties that you know of, any businesses, companies that you know of that took a chance and, merged with another company or another business that have helped communities?
So
like that?
the only thing that comes to my mind initially is I know that the city of Greensboro
Yes.
does help during like the cold, hard winter months. They'll kind of take over the baseball field and they put up temporary housing
I had
so
no
that
idea.
homeless
Okay.
people will have somewhere safe and warm to rest their heads at night, and get a hot shower and be able to live there during the cold winter months. And then they kind of tear those temporary houses back down, and then they do it again the following year. So I am aware of that. Other initiatives I really don't know, but I do understand what you're saying. There definitely is an issue with homelessness. There's also issues with affordability. I am
Absolutely.
seeing families that are moving back in
Absolutely.
together, multi-generational housing. People are looking for duplexes or homes with 4 and 5 bedrooms because they're coming back together again to be able to afford housing. So it's really sad. I don't know what the solution is. We need affordable housing. I know that Greensboro has an initiative to, I believe it's to build 10,000 houses, but I know that also is not just single family. It consists of townhomes and apartments as well, affordable housing. The initiative is 10,000, and I believe they're right around the 1,200 mark of completed homes. So everyone knows that there's an issue. I think the city of Greensboro is definitely trying to help with that. So yeah, there are issues. We've got businesses buying up homes and then renting them out for astronomical amounts of money. So there's definitely an issue, and hopefully we'll continue to get better because everyone deserves safe housing and to be warm and bathed and fed. Just
Absolutely.
basic human needs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that just goes along with saying human rights.
Human rights.
Human rights.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
We should not judge anyone for their creed or color. Hopefully things will get better in that field with a lot of benefits with owning your own house, even living in a nice house for temporary reasons. Okay.
Yeah.
So I do want to say we're going to take a quick break right now. I want to thank our guest. She's not gone yet, you guys. Our Renee Jones, our broker in Greensboro, and I'm going to say a couple of things. First of all, I want to welcome everyone to the Friday's edition of Empire 45 magazine. Also want to give it up for my beautiful Renee Jones in the house today. Yes. So she's talking about real estate. And I have always dreamed about wanting to own a house, and of course I know one day I will. I've got to know all the ins and outs about that, and this is why we have her on the show this evening to tell us how we can go about owning our own home. And I know that's just it will put a huge smile on your face when you get those keys in your hand, like, oh my God, I own my own home. So we're going to have a little break right now, and we're going to shout out all of our black DJs in the area, local and long distance. Everybody, please hit that subscribe button to support our brothers of black music. Yes, yes. I am your girl, your hostess on this beautiful Friday evening. No rain. No rain yet. It's going to be a few days of some hot sun. However, I think maybe about the end of next week, we're going to have some raindrops again, and it's going to make it a little bit more hotter outside. But we are getting it in with July. Wow, we're halfway to the ending of this 2025 years, and we're going to make it work. Yes, the power of a black dollar bill. Everybody, please support your black-owned business right where you are. Yes, I give my honor to all black-owned businesses in the triad, nearby and far away. I am your girl, your hostess, Magique Renee. Welcome to the Friday's edition of Empire 45 Magazine. I am your girl. You know, you could have scrolled and just kept scrolling. I thank you for tuning in. I hope that you all are safe and have a great time this weekend. I want to say this right here, a night of power and purpose with style. I've got to shout these guys out right here. The men that are changing the game, our Black Men Excel. October 15th, 16th, and 17th, 2025. I will give you all more on that. It's going to be down in ATL. Even though you live here, I know you're going down there to enjoy yourself. The Black Men Excel, you guys. I will give you more on that. Have to shout out this beautiful woman right here. She made it on the cover of Who Am I magazine, Terry Watson. Terry will also be one of my beautiful guests here on the show in a couple more weeks. Terry Watson, you are really doing it big with my beautiful girl right here, Miss Portia Shipman. Yes, she has that paint the city purple. Yes, she does. My girl, Portia Shipman. She's got some non-emergency transportation going on, and that girl is really doing it real good. She also has this hospital care with the Good Times Home Health Care Incorporated. Portia is getting it in. She's been to Africa. Her family is with the Shipmans Home Health Care Industry. Wow, you can't say that 3 times fast, but they are really getting it in. I am so proud of her with the rehabilitation care, nursing home care, and in-home care. Let's do it big for Portia Shipman. Let's do it, girl. Yes, yes, yes. I am your girl, your hostess, Magique Renee. We're going to keep going with our beautiful guest today, our beautiful Renee Jones. I thought maybe I would dress up and, really try and impress this lady over here. And she was like more impressed with me. And I'm like, no, you got to dress up for the best to impress the best. Okay? So I just want to say that our skin is worth fighting for. Everyone, please Google site that girl with that Empire 45 magazine. I am also doing the Purple Podcast Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just for 20 minutes at 7:30, and we're going to kick it back with our Renee Jones. Let's do it. Give her some claps. Yay. And we're going to ask her a few more questions. We're actually just right here at the middle point of Empire 45 magazine. And I want to thank her again for coming. And she could have been with her family, and we're going to talk a little bit about family. But she will see them. I will make sure she will get home right after this. So the crowd has cooled down off the highway, and it's kind of quiet and peaceful now. And I want to welcome you again to Empire 45 Magazine, the Purple Podcast. So I want to ask this. This might be a silly question. Sometimes my head just goes way over there. I am always a hamster on a wheel.
Okay.
And, they always say that nothing is a stupid question.
That's true.
So I'm going to ask this question.
Okay.
Okay, so now, Miss Jones.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to, just kind of give you a brief summary of what I would like in my home.
Okay.
I'm going to see if, maybe my money, will accommodate for what, because, even though she's the best of the best, I want to see if she can add on a little bit.
Okay.
So if I come to you and I say, oh, I'm looking for a home, it's got to be in a beautiful climate. I've got to have 5 bedrooms. At least 3 bathrooms. Maybe a pool. If not, we can compromise. But it's got to be furnished. How can you take care of little old me like that?
Well, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, how do you plan to pay for said home?
Ooh. Right.
Will this be a cash purchase, or will this be financed? Because if it's going to be financed, then I'm going to ask you, do you have a pre-approval? What price point are we looking in? Because that matters, right? 5 bedrooms, at least 3 bathrooms.
That's right.
I need to know your budget, because we're looking in the mid-4, high 4s, over $500,000.
That's right. Tell us about
Unless you want tiny boxes of rooms just to say you have 5 bedrooms. There's a lot that goes into that. So again, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but budget, 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 budget. Because those are your desires, but are you willing to compromise? Right? Because if your budget is not getting you what you want, you have to be flexible in certain areas. And you mentioned the right neighborhood, or the perfect neighborhood, or the perfect setting.
That's right.
I don't really give an opinion of that, because that's very subjective. What's nice to you may not be nice to me, and I don't steer my clients in any way. So you can tell me, what we can do, or what I recommend is we set up a search, and that's what I do for all of my clients. Once I know your budget and what your criteria is in terms of number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, acreage, year built, there's a lot that goes into it. But once I know what your criteria is, I set up a search in our multiple listing service, and any existing properties that are on the market, or any new properties that hit the market, once I have your search set up, it's fed over to you automatically. And any homes that match the criteria will be in your email. There's also a portal you can access on your mobile device. And then we kind of look through them, and we determine, or you determine really, these are of interest to me. And then that's when I schedule the showings. We go out and we look at these homes, and we're not just looking for the pretty, oh my gosh, look at that light, or look at the floor. When I'm walking through a home with my client, I am trying to identify anything that could be an issue, anything that could pop up on an inspection report, because I don't want anything to be a surprise to my clients. So while we can appreciate the beauty, my eyes are searching for things that may be a factor for you in whether or not you potentially want to put in an offer on the property. So I want you to be happy and love what you see, but more importantly, I want to make sure that you're moving into a sound investment. So my eyes may be searching for different things, but that's what my buyers pay me to do.
And once you go through the process with the client, on a regular, about how long would it take for them to actually move in?
So it depends on your financing type. If you're a cash buyer, we can have a quick close, maybe 3 weeks, maybe even less than that. It just depends. If it's cash, yes. Once we get past the inspection period and you kind of know and we're navigating, we can close on cash deals pretty quickly. If it's like a conventional financing, around 30 to 35 days. Some lenders can do a little bit sooner, but I would say on average about 30 days. If you have financing that's like FHA or VA or USDA, any government-backed loans, we're looking at probably about 45 days for close.
Gotcha.
And that's if there are no hiccups, right? So when I represent the buyer, obviously my goal, my fiduciary duty is to represent my buyer, right? To look out for their interests. They have my loyalty, they have my confidentiality, but also in making sure that we have a successful and smooth transaction, I am teaming up with the listing agent. In a sense, the listing agent represents the seller, because we should be working side by side to make sure the transaction is moving along and it's smooth for both of our clients. So 30 days conventional, 45 days any government-backed, cash sooner.
Okay, so I know that it could be like a lot of questions from the buyer, like, where the nearby schools or the nearby grocery markets. Are there any, when's the last time there's been a break-in over here, or, things like that. How long has this house been here? When was it built? Do you get that a lot?
I do get that. And there are certain things I direct my buyers to research on their own, because there are certain things that I don't have an opinion about, because I don't want to steer anyone, because there are things that are subjective. Schools, we're going to know that. That's public information.
Absolutely.
I disclose all of that. What else did you mention? Crime.
Yes.
I don't look up crime rates. That's really not for me to determine.
Something that they would have to kind of do on their own.
Legally, I don't get involved because of I don't discriminate. I practice fair housing as a realtor. And those things are subjective. What I think is a safe neighborhood, somebody else may not think is a safe neighborhood. So I always direct them to particular sites or to contact the police department for those statistics, and they can determine that on their own. What things that I also do advise buyer clients to do is, okay, we've taken a look at this home. You have an opinion about whether you like it or not. I always recommend drive by that home day and night. Kind of assess the area, assess what's going on.
You can check it out yourself.
Yeah, check it out yourself to see if that's because I'm not going to live there. So my opinion about what's happening there is really not important. So check it out for yourself. And if you're unsure about where you want to live in Greensboro, High Point, get in your car, just ride around. And if find areas that are appealing to you, and then work with your realtor, hopefully me, to see what's available in that area in your price point, and then we can schedule showings and go in and take a look at them.
Okay, well that sounds great. Now, what about does your clients tend to maybe come towards the city or go out towards the suburbs or country?
Both. I have some people that kind of like to be within 5 minutes of shopping, dining, interstate access. But then I do have some clients that prefer to be tucked away and kind of remote. It just depends on the buyer. So that varies. I will tell you another large question that I get from buyers, especially first-time home buyers. And FYI, a first-time home buyer is just a buyer that has not bought in the past 3 years.
Oh.
But a big question that I get is, hey, is there any money that I can take advantage of? And there are down payment assistance programs for buyers if you
Great.
qualify. The state of North Carolina has down payment assistance up to $15,000 if you qualify. But in addition to that, the city of Greensboro and city of High Point also have down payment assistance. And if you qualify, you can stack those monies on top of each other. Yeah, so that's one of the questions that I get, and why it's important. Another thing, I'm so glad I said this.
Thank you.
Lenders
Lenders
are extremely important. Okay, I recommend talking to multiple lenders because some lenders participate in down payment assistance programs and others do not.
OMG.
And also in choosing your lender, some people are like, oh, well, I'll just connect with my current bank where I do my business. That's great. Also, you may want to consider another lender, maybe a lender who works beyond the Monday through Friday 9 to 5 banking hours.
Okay.
Because oftentimes, most of the buyers that I work with are working folks. And oftentimes they can't see homes until after they get off work and on weekends. By the way, I work 7 days a week. So if they found a home that they absolutely loved over the weekend, and I need to get with their lender about numbers to make sure we're good to go, because homeowners association dues, like if you purchase a home that has an HOA or a townhome that has an HOA, that factors into your approval amount, and it could lessen your purchase price amount. So it is critical that your lender is accessible to you and me after hours and on weekends. And if your lender is not, you might want to consider looking into other options. But it's really up to you. I provide guidance, I provide information, and then my buyers take that and they make the decision of what works best for them. And that's in everything that I do, because I'm not buying the home. I'm helping you navigate that process, and I will give my opinion and my professional advice. But at the end of the day, buyers and sellers make the final decision. Okay? I have a legal obligation, a fiduciary responsibility to honor what it is that my buyers and sellers want to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's a great thing, because everybody has to be happy campers.
Yes.
One little thing goes wrong.
You could derail it.
Yeah, it's just derailed. And
then you're managing not only the process, but now you're managing temperaments, and it's a lot. Like
it's going back and forth.
It is.
Yeah.
And
it can be very stressful. I've never bought a house. However, I had a couple of friends that were selling houses in the past, had real estate. And I'm like, oh my God. So what happens when?
And I try to manage that stress so that my buyers and sellers don't feel it. I feel like that's my responsibility, is to manage that. So whatever comes up, my goal, my job is to find a solution and to kind of level set things again.
Yes.
And a lot of people, oh, you guys make money. You get paid too much money. Everybody sees the glamorous side of real estate. I'm opening this door and I'm showing this amazing house. But you don't see, it's a lot of hard work.
It is.
I mean, I am raking yards, getting houses prepared. I'm getting blisters on my hands. I'm coordinating things at the last minute. We're cleaning, we're prepping, we're staging. There's a lot that goes into it. And just managing the process when things come up and making sure you find a solution that doesn't derail it or delay closing is the goal. I work 7 days a week, legit. I work on holidays. As a matter of fact, my daughter said on Mother's Day, well, I guess we'll do Mother's Day another day. Sorry, I had to work. I owe you one. So I pride myself on, listen, we all work and we want to get paid for the job that we do, but I do not put my interests above my clients' interests. I don't. And I know that people are like, well, May, you sure about that? I'm absolutely sure about that. We work for free until we get to the closing table. And not everything gets to the closing table. Things happen. Contracts sometimes have to terminate. And sometimes buyers have to walk away altogether. And everything that we've put into that, we don't gain anything from that. But you also can't be sour about that. That's what we sign up for, right? And at some point, that buyer will come back and want to buy. And my goal is to make sure that if they're walking away with a positive experience from me, and that they trust me enough to come back to me when they're ready. Period.
That sounds wonderful. You seem like you are really putting your all, your heart, your everything.
I do.
Into this, and I know the rewards you've already gotten your reward, and still your flowers are still coming.
They are. I believe that.
And I take my hat off to you, because I'm the type of person, like, there's the rake. I got $15. But I mean, I'm just saying, you find people that are just like,
you have to love it.
You do.
You have to love.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
You get people that will say, what in the world am I going to do with all of that house? But you have some people like me that say, OMG. And it's got columns.
Oh, I have a house you need to see if you love columns. I have a house you need to see.
And then they'll be saying, Majid, please don't move into the plantation. So, I just feel like, I'll just be saying referendum. I'm telling you, referendum. That's all it is. I'm getting what's owed to me. So I said all of that funky little stuff to say this. It's not really the big house or the small house or the medium house. Like you said, it's not about the rooms or, in a small sense, yes, where you're going to put your investment in. Mm-hmm. Like you said, do your homework. Mm-hmm. If you have to go ride back and forth every weekend just to see what it's like on the weekend.
Absolutely.
Every just Monday through Friday just to see what it's going to look like through the week. Are the business people going to work? Is it quiet? Do you see any dogs and cats roaming around?
Do people care for their lawn?
Thank you.
Like, is this an HOA community or
Right.
not? Does my neighbor have pink shutters and an orange door? And I love pink and orange.
Right.
But I'm just saying, not everyone does. So there are things that matter. You absolutely should stake it out and make sure it's somewhere you are going to be comfortable.
Right. Oh, well, let me see. There's a playground. I've got 2 kids. Okay. There's the grocery market. Let me put my navigation on. Nearest grocery market. Nearest Walmart.
Some people want to be near a hospital, especially if they're caring for an
you.
ailing
Restaurant.
relative. Yes. All of that matters, and it's different for everyone. And these are things that your agent should be finding out that's important to you, so we can consider those when we're searching for your property. And things that I could absolutely confirm, right? Location to restaurants, if that's important to you. Location to the hospital, if that's important to you. I don't want to live near a cemetery, if that's important to you. Like, those types of things. And people are,
a water tower.
Can you tell me if anybody died in this home? Well,
yes.
I mean, I don't know. And I don't have a legal right to disclose that either. Even if I did know, I don't have to disclose it. Would I if I knew and someone asked me and that was important to them? Probably, yes. So, we get asked all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. No 2 transactions are the same. And I think that's what keeps it interesting.
That's right. That's right. And, it's, you're very proud of yourself when you know that you've done your work well.
Absolutely. And I can sleep at night.
Very good.
Absolutely.
And that client is totally satisfied with your presentation, the house or home itself, and your availability, your accountability. I'm here for you. I want you to have this house more than you want to have this.
And I have that feeling about it a lot of times.
So, it's just a great feeling to be in your position. I've never interviewed a real estate agent or broker before, and this is my first. And it was a lot of information to seep in.
And there's so much more, like that's a part of the education process for buyers. I will just say, if there's anyone out there that's considering buying a home or selling a home, there's certain things that an agent should be covering with you up front. Your consumer rights, ways in which you can be represented and what that means to you. And if you're talking with an agent that's not explaining to you what a buyer's agent does, I would question that. There are certain terms you should be familiar with in understanding how you can be represented. I'll just throw a couple of them out there. Buyer agency, working with a buyer's agent. Dual agency, that's where the agent represents both the buyer and the seller, and designated dual agency. And this is just to throw some terms out at you so that if you don't hear that during your initial consultation with an agent, run to me, because I'll make sure you understand what those terms mean and why it's important to you, because it's definitely important to understand that terminology before you go further. And I would love the opportunity to help anyone. And even if you're unsure about whether you're ready to buy or sell, it's just a conversation. That doesn't cost anything. And worst case scenario, you walk away with some valuable information about what's needed to qualify and what that process looks like from start to finish.
So can you give our audience your information, please?
Absolutely. So Renee Jones, and that's RENAE Jones. Please follow me on Facebook if you can. My telephone number is 336-707-7700. And my email is Renee, RENAE, at NC, for North Carolina, so nchomepartners.com. I would love the opportunity to talk with you if you have questions. No obligation. Just information.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We're going to get the information again. We've got a few more minutes left, and I just want to ask Renee two more little things before we close out. We're going to be on time, and then we're going to finish on time too. So, as far as someone that's selling the house, what are the things that you look for in that house that's going to catch the attention of the buyer for that house?
So making sure your home is ready to be marketed. So I always approach sellers and walking through their home with my buyer eye. What is the buyer going to notice? What is the buyer going to critique? So, of course, what you net from your sale is important, right? Because you're selling for a reason. So what you're going to net from that deal is of the most important. But my responsibility to you is to find out things that we have to disclose to buyers. Age of the roof, condition of the roof, age of the roof, age of your HVAC, any operating system in your home. We need to know the condition of it, the age of it, because those are things that we legally have to disclose to buyers, right? Anything that you know is ill functioning about the property, we need to disclose it. Legally, we need to disclose it. But I'm also walking through your home and I'm looking for issues myself, things to question. And sometimes not even issues. If everything looks good with my natural eye, if I don't see any leaks in the roof or hear anything that sounds odd, I may give you advice on sprucing things up. If you have a different paint color in every single room of the house, maybe we want to neutralize the paint. If the carpet is stained or worn and it's beyond cleaning, Do we want to consider replacing it? Do we want to consider offering a concession to the buyers so that they can take care of it themselves? So there's all kinds of things I'm looking for, but first and foremost, I want to make sure that your home is presentable and it's ready to be marketed to the public, because trust me, when buyers come through, they're going to be looking and critiquing. And if there's another home that's on the market that has the same specs as yours, but theirs is pristine clean and yours is not, and they're listed for around the same price, where do you think the buyers are going to go? So it's important to make sure that your home is prepared. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's where I come through and give you advice. Of course, you don't have to take it, but that's important.
I would look for her advice, really. So one more thing. I know this is an easy question. Tell us a little bit about your family.
Oh, my family.
Yes, your husband. I think you have a couple of kids.
I do. I've been married for 28 years. We just hit our 28th wedding anniversary on June 29th.
Anniversary.
Thank you. We still have not celebrated because I've been busy, but we're going to. We're at least going to go to dinner. And we have 2 kids. They're still my kids. They're going to be my kids no matter how old they are.
Yeah.
My daughter's 26. Our son's 19. He's in college. He's starting his sophomore year next month. And we have 2 granddaughters.
Yay.
5 and 2.
And see, just think, I have 2 grandsons, and I wanted a granddaughter.
Oh, well, I'll bring my granddaughters by to see you. You'll fall in love with them.
Yes.
They are absolutely amazing. I think my kids are absolutely amazing.
Wow.
I'm not saying perfect, but they're we
Right.
all think our kids are absolutely amazing,
We all
right?
think that.
You should think your kids are absolutely amazing, because they are. They're a blessing.
Yes.
So, yeah. And then, of course, my mom is still with me. My mom is
Okay.
in great health. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
My mom just turned 71 and she can outwalk me.
Oh.
And then I have a sister who's 10 years younger, who's probably my first kid, if I'm being honest, because
Right.
I treated her as such. She's 10 years
Good.
younger than me. So, I mean, my family, God's obviously important in my life, but coming in second, my family. I love
Right,
my
and
family.
that's a great
Yes.
thing. I'm going to have Miss Renee Jones, or shall I say
Mrs.
Renee Jones, to give us her information once again. If you all are looking for a house, or shall I say a home, a real home to buy, please contact my girl right here.
Thank
she's
you.
going to give you her information one more time. Make sure you have your pen and paper this time, because I saw somebody didn't have it. Oh, daggone it. I done missed what she said. So here she go again.
Thank you. Write this down, guys. Call me, text me, 336-707-7700. My email is Renee, RENAE, at nchomepartners.com. And follow me on Facebook, Renee Jones, RENAE Jones. Or if you're an Instagrammer, I'm reneejones.homes. I would love for you guys to give me a follow. That would be great. Call me with any questions.
All right.
And I want to say thank you to you.
To me.
Yes, for number one, holding on to my information for this long, reaching out to me and inviting me into your studio. It's a blessing, and I thank you for that. You've been so kind and welcoming to me, and it means the world to me.
Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
It means so much to me having you here.
Thank you.
So it's our time. Yeah, that
went by fast.
It did. So I want to thank again the most beautiful real estate agent in the world that I know of right now.
Oh, thank you.
Miss Renee Jones. And I am so happy to be a part of her life right now, because this might not be her last time seeing me.
Oh, I hope not. This was fun.
So I thank you all for tuning in to the Friday's edition of Empire 45 Magazine, and it is sponsoring the Purple Podcast. Please be safe this weekend. Please stay hydrated this weekend. And I will see you. Have fun too. I will see you all on Monday, if the creek don't rise. Empire 45 Magazine, Purple Podcast. Monday at 7:30, Facebook Live. See you all later.
Bye.